Blessed month has dawned upon us with its merits and blessings combined. In it the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon his soul. Ramadan, 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 Ramadan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Gabe Al-Romani live from Dubai for the last episode of Ramadan Spirit for Dubai. Continuing inshallah for Riyadh and UK. But for me inshallah this will be the last episode, alhamdulillah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to have a niyyah mukhlisa inshallah, sincere intention, and to do this, strongly and sincerely for His sake, and to continue inshallah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open up for us the doors to do khair inshallah and good things in the future, to come up with new programs and new shows. We will continue starting July 31st with A Time to Please Allah. Brother Ismail Bulek will be here. I'll be traveling for about 2 weeks, so inshallah he will be back here July 31st, which is a Thursday. There will be the normal time, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Dubai time, which corresponds to 6 to 7 Mecca time. Alhamdulillah, for this last episode we have Brother Bilal again with us. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
I really
barakatuh.
enjoyed last episode yesterday.
Jazakallah khair.
If you guys missed it, it is a description of Jannah and the sifat or characteristics of those people who will be in Jannah.
No.
So you want to make sure that you go back to our YouTube videos and you check it. I will post it also on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Al-Romani, ALROMAANY. And for those who want to hook up with me on Instagram, I post some cool pictures, AL_Romani, ROMAANI. I want to apologize. I noticed there's a slight spelling mistake in the previous commercial.
Okay.
So, we have to... I know the team is working really hard. Sometimes these things slip, so I apologize for these. We'll try to fix it up, inshallah. In the word month, I think it's M-O-U-N. So, inshallah, we apologize for that. So today, I want to, and we want to speak about, just continue. We left off yesterday. We want to finish up with this description of Jannah and the sifat of the people in Jannah. But I want to remind the viewers with the number on the screen, if you want to call us to ask us a question, please make sure you turn the volume down so we can hear you through the phone. So you were at, we stopped at a verse. We didn't translate it.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. So we're continuing with the sifat of the people who are going to enter Jannah.
Right.
And we listened to a verse from Surah Mu'minun.
Can you repeat the verse, inshallah, from Arabic, and then so we can...
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. So the first quality that's mentioned here is قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ,
Right.
that the believers are the ones who are successful.
Subhanallah.
That's the first quality. So if we don't believe in Allah, the rest of the things that follow are of no value, really.
Subhanallah.
So believing in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, all those things are included here.
Right.
The second quality here is that these people, they have khushu' in their salah. That they're humble. When they pray, they feel as if they're standing in front of Allah, as if they're talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
It's something so difficult, and
It's
a lot of people complain
yeah.
about that. And you find most of the questions on, to the different Islamic sites or the different du'at and mashayikh, is
Emphasizing,
how do I attain khushu in salah?
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
SubhanAllah. Another quality mentioned here is those who shun vain talk. They avoid al-laghu. So they don't get into issues that are of no benefit to them.
Subhanallah.
Today a lot of our time is wasted in things that don't benefit us.
We all do that, subhanallah. Allah forgive us.
Ameen, ameen. Yet another quality mentioned here is those who pay zakah. Again, something that all Muslims have to do. So this is one of the qualities. Another quality mentioned here is those who are modest. They avoid zina.
Subhanallah.
And again, this is something very rampant in
so
society.
Rampant these days. Yani, if you don't do it, you're someone weird.
Subhanallah.
So you're like gharib, this guy's strange, What a loser, Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. Yeah. Another quality, again, is those who fulfill their covenant, their pledge. So whenever they promise, they always hastened in order to fulfill this promise that they make. A number of ahadith have also described some of the people of Jannah. Who are they going to be? Some of their sifat, So a few, I've collected a few here. One of them is a person who follows the mu'adhin with his heart, will enter paradise. When the mu'adhin says the adhan, this is one of the people who are going to enter paradise. Another hadith says a person who builds the masjid with the intention of seeking Allah's face. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build a house for him in Jannah. Another hadith here that's mentioned is also the Prophet ﷺ said there's not a single Muslim who prays to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the 12 rak'at, the voluntary prayers. Except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build a house for him in Jannah.
So these are 2 before Fajr,
yeah,
4 before Dhuhr,
right,
2 after Dhuhr,
no,
and then 2 after Maghrib,
2 after Maghrib,
and 2 after Salatul Isha.
Exactly.
And
this is something that
amazing.
We all lack. A lot of the brothers, they don't get the time to do this, but it's not that difficult.
It's not that difficult. That was one of my goals for this Ramadan.
No.
It's not that difficult. I kind of made this checklist, right? So I'm checking now, tallying it up. I was okay, but I was slacking off a few days, and then you do it, and then some you do 10, some you do. So it does require some
degree of
confidence. Like to be tahrus, to
mutaba'a, like you're
right. You have to a bit of exerting a little bit of of due diligence.
No.
You're talking about salah here, just from the Surah Al-Mu'minun. There's one sifat that maybe we want to mention, that it was in the Arabic. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. Yeah. This is something very important, right?
No.
That they don't just pray, but they guard their prayers.
They guard their prayers.
And speaking about sunnah as well, we always hear the scholars saying that these nawafil are like a fortress for the fard.
Exactly.
It protects your fard.
So if you become lazy in these voluntary prayers, then
shaitan can re-attack your fard,
Yeah.
But with these nawafil, you're kind of like, okay,
guarding
there's
them.
no way you're not going to pray fard if you pray nawafil,
Exactly.
It's like you got to go and pray 4 before Dhuhr and then leave the masjid, No way. It's like, subhanAllah, you're protecting your fard, so it's important. I myself, I want to do better, and specifically in this regard. I really want to. I've been putting it on the paper. I said I want to do it. It's like fighting any, but
Yeah,
inshallah,
subhanAllah. May
alhamdulillah.
Allah help us.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yesterday we mentioned another quality, a person who does proper wudu
Subhanallah.
and then says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, also will be able to enter paradise from any of the gates. So,
Subhanallah.
from any of those gates. Another quality mentioned here, another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ was asked, what will cause most of the people to enter Jannah? He said, taqwallah and good manners. And again, good manners is something,
heavy,
we need to
very
work
heavy
on.
in this scale. Yeah,
Very heavy. Yesterday we were talking about, your incident of, I think it was the night before that you got really angry at something.
Something weird happened this morning. I got angry against I went to the center, right, to buy something.
Yeah.
Because now it's before 8, so I'm trying to do it before, not on the last day. And I feel so bad, like, honestly. And the security guy was telling me it's not open yet. And I said, no, it says there it's going to open at 10 a.m., right?
Yeah.
He says, no. Like, he was a bit, like, harsh, right?
Yeah.
So he kept saying no. And I didn't get angry at him, like really angry, or I wasn't rude to him, but I insisted believing that no, it's at 10 a.m., it should open at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
When I drove on the street and I saw the ad again, it's at 10 p.m., not 10 a.m., so I was wrong. So,
again,
I'm planning tonight to go and apologize.
SubhanAllah.
I said to myself, this is so bad, man. I felt so, just, I don't know.
Almost like 2 days.
No, it's like, you know these things. And just to show, that, subhanAllah, it's just one slip, and you forget about yourself, Like, you need to, constantly monitor yourself. And, the first thing that I remember, even though I still believe that it was 10 a.m. when I went down in the parking lot.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to me as a remorse, I said, أنا زعيم ببيت في ربض الجنة لمن ترك المراء وإن كان محقا. That I am promising a house in the outskirts of Jannah, the Prophet said, to whoever leaves arguing, even if he's right.
Right.
The guy kept saying no, and I'm like, no, it's 10 o'clock. He's like, no.
SubhanAllah.
So that's the first thing that I felt regret over. I was like, man, just just keep your mouth shut. Just say thank you so much. Just walk away, huh?
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest things is when you know you're right.
It is very difficult.
And you gotta keep quiet.
And that's why the reward is so great, right? I mean, I could have had a house in Jannah right now, and I missed that opportunity, man. Stuff like that. And I'm I honestly, just driving here, I was bugged about it. I was like, no way. So I'm on my way home, I'm gonna stop by there and hopefully I find that guy.
SubhanAllah. These were some of the qualities that I actually, and this was some of the material that I collected for the description of Jannah and some of the qualities of the people entering Jannah.
It's always good. I always tell the viewers to do some homework. Go online. There's some reliable sites. You can do some searches. Even in English, there's a lot of material out there. Just try to get some. Don't leave it to just the show. People should always do. There's the books of Sheikh Omar Ashqar. He has a lot.
Or take notes.
Take notes. Yeah, it's good to just we should make these programs more than just entertainment.
Exactly. Like
Islamic, and we heard this is good, like an iman boost, and then 2-3 hours later it's back. Take notes, follow up.
Especially in lectures, subhanAllah, Jibreel, is when you go, always have a small notebook or something.
Yeah.
Where you can collect fawaid from the sheikh.
Yeah.
The material you'll find elsewhere too, but some small things, some fawaid that you might not find readily available online.
Yeah.
Those fawaid you'll only find in certain books which are probably in Arabic.
It's hard to find.
Or a sheikh's personal experience.
No doubt. And what I also do sometimes, let's say I don't have a pen or paper, you can just type on your notes on your phone, or even record voice recording, like a memo to myself, this sheikh said this, or I heard this hadith, check this book, look at, it's very good. I go back to it, and then when I sit down in my library on my desk, I just try to catch that, and try to benefit from that.
Yes, subhanAllah.
So that was very, alhamdulillah, very enlightening. And I mean, Jannah is priceless, and we all strive for it. And even though it seems so far, the thing is that when you read through the lives of the Sahaba, it's as if they were seeing it, right?
Yeah.
They would recite some of the verses of Jannah, and they would recite some of the verses of Nar. And you'd find falling unconscious, Umar Khattab getting all, you know, he would just, subhanallah, you know, you would think that it's like, how can that be possible, right?
No.
But he would be very affected by some of these things, to the point where like little kids would go to him and be like, ittaqillah, you know, Umar, and
Yeah,
be like,
subhanallah.
he would like get scared, you know, like they would like they would kind of make it as a joke or whatever, but it would affect them so much, right?
Unfortunately, today our youth are not aware of some of these, you know, blessings that await us in Jannah.
And not in these days, if anyone tells you ittaqillah, like, what? You
Yeah,
tell me
it's considered sukhriya, you know,
Yeah.
it's considered like as if someone is like mocking you.
Yeah, subhanallah. No? Anyway, alhamdulillah, we're going to take a short break, inshallah, and we will be back with Eid. We're going to talk about Eid. We're going to talk about some of the things that surround Eid and how it's a blessed time. And again, I remind you with the number on the screen. Give us a call. Let us hear your inputs, inshallah. And if you have questions about Eid, inshallah, Brother Bilal will be answering them. So we'll be right back in a few minutes with Ramadan Spirit.
Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. Do you know what Islam is? It's a way of life for all. It is taught in the Quran, big and small. Do you know what Islam is? It's a way.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Abdurrahim McCarthy, coming to you from the studios in London, where I'm filming my new TV show Tarbiyah for Huda TV. In Tarbiyah, we're going to take an in-depth look into how the Muslim makes Tarbiyah of himself, how he educates himself and trains himself according to the Quran and to the authentic Sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're going to see how the Quran and how the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam trained the Muslim, and we're going to see the impact that this tarbiyah had on the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, that made them the greatest nation known to mankind. Tarbiyah to revive ourselves and to revive our ummah. Tarbiyah only on Huda TV during the month of Ramadan. Don't miss it.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life.
Sometimes you need someone to help you understand.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Adam's Show. No. It's the Sally Show.
I'm sorry.
You're just
I'm
the guest.
sorry. That's my show. You're just my little guest here.
No.
Please,
the
no,
guest.
I'm sorry.
I am
I'm
the
sorry.
star. You're
No,
you're the guest. I'm the star. They all love me. Nobody knows who you are.
No.
They
I'm
love
sorry.
me. I am the star.
Hey, I
I'm
have
the
a
star.
suggestion. What about the Adam and Sally show?
Let me think for a minute. That's a
That
brilliant
is a great idea. That's a great idea.
So we have the Adam and Sally show coming to Huda TV.
Inshallah.
Adam and Sally. Spend time with us and you'll find out. Adam and Sally. A smiling face, a happy place. Another episode of Adam and Sally.
Ramadan, Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we are back with the beautiful show that's ending today here in Dubai, Ramadan Spirit. I've enjoyed it. It's been 3 times a week, alhamdulillah, from Dubai. Coming all the way from Fujairah, alhamdulillah.
That's very tiring.
You know, I don't mind. I enjoy the drive.
Sometimes.
Like I can use the time. I don't know. It's for me. It's a quite. It's tiring, but it's a good time. Alhamdulillah. It was. There's a lot of experiences. I mean, there's a lot of during this month. Things that I reflect on. I've seen a lot of accidents. Today I just saw someone and he really bad, and he was outside bleeding, and the police and stuff like that, ambulance. You see how weak you can be, subhanAllah, and how much we depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I remember one time, as I was driving, just getting out of my driveway, it was in Canada, it was winter, And A'udhu Billahi, I was angry or something. I don't remember, whatever. But for some shaitan whispered something. I was saying the dua of, Subhanallah, di sakhra hada, right?
No.
And shaitan came to me and said something like, why are you saying this dua? I'm not kidding you.
Subhanallah.
And as I'm just backing up, I'm saying that, shaitan's whispering to me. I say, A'udhu Billah. I'm driving, and this guy comes from the corner, slides, like
into your car.
Like he just slides, like fast. It's like winter, like snowing heavy.
No.
And he lost control.
SubhanAllah.
And I'm driving like maybe 20, 30 kilometers an hour. So I brake and I'm sliding because it's like icy, right?
Yeah.
I have no clue how he passed me, but he didn't even touch me. Like it was like I thought he went through me. I'm not even kidding. Like I thought he went through me, and he hit the curve, and then like there's snow in the curve. He hit the curve and then bounced back, and he just kept driving, and I kept driving. I was just like watching in the mirror. He's going. He didn't stop.
And subhanAllah, your car hidden.
Nothing even touched it. And I'm driving, and I'm like, I stop at a stop sign, and I look in the back mirror. He's just driving in the back, and I'm like, SubhanAllah, what just happened?
SubhanAllah.
I mean, and then it's like Allah just told me, this is why you say this dua,
This dua.
And it's like, just like, and I'm like the first thing I said was like, astaghfirullah, tubu ilayhi. Like, a'udhu billah. Shaitan is tricky, he plays with your mind sometimes. And he takes advantage of the time when you're like tired, you're angry, you're sad, subhanAllah. So we always have to be, on guard. So alhamdulillah, I'm very happy for this, this show. I think it was a very good show, alhamdulillah. So let's finish, inshallah, strong with some Eid. Maybe the brothers will be covering in Riyadh and UK, other things of Eid, but subhanAllah, وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So it's very good to remind, and it's always good to hear it again. So let's get into this Eid, inshallah.
SubhanAllah. Ramadan, Ramadan is ending, and we feel that we in the remaining days we need to work a bit harder.
Yes.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept these days of Eid for us, this Eid al-Fitr. And it's a time of rejoicing, a time of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, that He blessed us with all the blessings plus this added blessing of Ramadan, which is the greatest month in the Islamic calendar.
Right.
And Eid in Arabic refers to something that's recurrent, repetitive, that it comes over and over again. And we know that Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha comes every year, And the Prophet ﷺ, when he came to Medina, he saw the people of Medina that they were celebrating 2 days. This was before Islam.
Right.
So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you something 2 days better than these days. And he said, Eid al-Fitr wa Eid al-Adha. And also we come to know from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, for every people there's a feast, and this is our feast. And Eid al-Fitr, Fitr in Arabic literally means breaking the fast. So we know this whole month that we're fasting, the first day of Shawwal, that's when we're celebrating Eid. And we're breaking this month of fasting.
Right. So you'll be eating in the morning.
Eating in the morning.
Right. That's the sunnah to eat before
exactly,
going to the...
for Eid al-Fitr.
Yes.
And Eid al-Adha falls on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah.
Right.
And for that it's the opposite, that if you are sacrificing an animal for the sake of Allah, that you try your best to eat, from that animal first, without trying something else.
Yeah, I've done that before, and it's amazing.
SubhanAllah.
It's so tasty.
SubhanAllah. The time of Eid, it's after Shuruq, when the sun is an arrow's length above the horizon, until it reaches the highest point. So any time between that particular period,
the salah can be done.
Yes, the salah can be done. And there's no adhan, and there's no iqamah for the salah, And
there's takbir, right?
There's takbirat,
right.
which we're going to talk about, inshallah. This salah is 2 rakat, something similar to Yawm al-Jum'ah, Salat al-Jum'ah. The difference is that Yawm al-Jum'ah, the khutbah comes first.
Right.
Here, the khutbah comes after the salah.
Right.
And a little bit of the description of the salah.
Right.
So there are 2 rak'ah in the salah. In the first rak'ah, there are 7 additional takbirat.
Okay, so the first one.
The
Takbirat
first one is
al-ihram.
not included.
Okay.
Takbiratul ihram. This is
Ihram.
mandatory. Yani
Okay.
without this takbir, لا تنعقد الصلاة.
Right.
Yani you don't come into the state of
So
salah.
altogether you have 8 takbirs.
Altogether you have no.
You said 1 takbir and then
Yes.
7 extra.
Yeah, but if you count the takbir for ruku', that becomes 9, right?
Okay.
But in any case, so we say 7
Extra.
additional takbirat,
Okay, right.
excluding takbiratul ihram
Okay.
and takbiratul intiqal.
Intiqal.
You know, and in the second rak'ah, you have 5 additional takbirat,
Okay, so
excluding the takbiratul intiqal.
okay, so Allah Akbar when you get up,
Exactly.
5 takbirs, and then Allah Akbar when you go for ruku.
Exactly.
Okay, so-
And in the first rak'ah, it's recommended that you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and no, I mean it's mandatory, and it's recommended that you recite Surah Al-Qaf or Surah Al-A'la, or Surah Al-Ghashiyah.
Ghashiyah.
In the second rak'ah,
You said Surah Al-Qaf.
yes.
Okay.
Obviously now, as much as you can,
Right,
you know.
just-
Yeah. In the second rak'ah, it's recommended that you recite Surah Al-A'la
Surah Al-A'la.
or Surah. I forgot actually. Anyway,
We can check.
Yeah,
inshallah.
we can
I don't
check.
remember either.
Yeah. Obviously, so this is the hay'ah of the salah. And the takbirat, the additional takbirat, they come for the first rak'ah, they come after the tasbih. Meaning, so you open your salah and you read dua ul-istiftah, and then you do the takbirat, these
7.
additional takbirat, before you start the qira'ah.
Right. 7 takbir.
7 takbirat.
Okay.
So this is in general the hay'ah, or the method in which you perform, you know, Salat al-Eid. Talking about the sermon of this day, the importance is, subhanAllah, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this day has so much importance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, and the Prophet ﷺ, you know, they're recommending the youth, the young, the old, all of the people to come and
women.
attend. The women,
Even if they're menstruating.
Yes,
This is
exactly.
something very important.
Except that they've been told to stay away from the
Right.
place of the salah, but they should come.
Right, they should come in.
You know, and this shows us the importance of this day,
Right, subhanAllah.
Yawm al-Eid. You know,
Beautiful.
that we should all try our best and be happy on this day, and not spend this day, you know, waking up early and then thinking, oh, I have to go for salah, and after coming back, just go to bed. I mean, what kind of Eid is this?
Yes, not a good.
You know, but a lot of people, they do that. Yeah, they
do.
come back.
It's a culture.
Exactly. We'll talk a little bit about some of the sunan of this day.
Okay.
Obviously, one of the things that's first of all, this salah. Some of the scholars said that it's obligatory to pray the salah, Salat al-Eid.
Okay.
Another opinion is that it's obligatory,
Sunnah.
but it's fard kifaya.
Kifaya.
That it's not obligatory on
every
everyone,
person.
but it's obligatory if a certain group of people do it, certain number of people do it, yani it's okay. The third qawl, or the third saying, is that it's sunnah muakkada.
Muakkada, no.
So just by this, you see the importance of this salah.
Right,
You
it's
know,
very
with so many, with like 3 different opinions. If anything, it
And
shows.
sunnah muakkada means? So
Sunnat muakkada means something
people don't
that's highly recommended for a person to do. You know.
So the Prophet ﷺ did it and he didn't really leave it.
Exactly. Exactly. Talking a little bit about now, we said that the women and the boys are encouraged to go to the musalla. Again, one of the things for this salah is that you prayed in an open space.
Subhanallah.
Musalla. So it's recommended that rather than praying in the masjid, you pray in an open space.
I really like that, subhanallah. I really like to go outside of the city. And there's alhamdulillah here
Something
in the UAE.
random, you know, you're praying on sand and you feel that,
Yeah,
you know.
it's amazing.
SubhanAllah.
Here,
Unless it's
mashallah,
raining or
Yeah.
unless, you know, the conditions are,
Right.
the conditions don't allow.
Right.
Taking a bath and walking on foot. You know, Ali radiallahu anhu narrated that it's sunnah to go to Eid prayer on foot.
Subhanallah.
You know, narrated by Tirmidhi, who graded it Hassan. Also wearing your best clothes.
Your best clothes.
You know, it's been reported that the Prophet ﷺ had a cloak, you know, which he would wear on the two Eids and on Friday.
Subhanallah.
You know, Al-Bayhaqi reported in a narration, he says that Ibn Umar used to wear his best clothes on Eid.
Subhanallah.
You know,
Beautiful.
SubhanAllah. eating, we just mentioned that, Eid al-Fitr, the Prophet ﷺ, it's been narrated that Allah's Messenger ﷺ never proceeded for the prayer on Eid al-Fitr unless he had eaten some dates.
Some dates, mashallah. So even we can say maybe that the sunnah is to eat some dates, and
The sunnah is to eat dates.
specifically, mashallah.
And on Eid al-Adha, it's recommended that you eat again from the meat that you
From the
sacrifice.
udhiyah.
You know, now talking about the takbirat, the sifa or the method in which you do takbirat is you can do tasbih, you can do tahmeed of Allah the way you want, but there's a certain sifa also mentioned. You say Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd.
Yeah.
And for Eid al-Fitr, which is approaching inshallah, the time for that takbir begins on the sunset. So when we find out that tomorrow's Eid, khalas, we start saying the takbirat, and it continues until the imam reaches in order to lead the salah.
Mashallah.
So less than a day, pretty much.
Mashallah.
And and so as for the takbirat, also one of the other things is that there's no nawafil.
Right.
Yeah, so we finished with takbirat. Nawafil, when we go to the Eid Musalla, do you have to pray anything?
Right.
Right
Tahiyatul
there,
Masjid or
Tahiyatul
something.
Masjid.
Right.
So there's nothing before, there's nothing after.
Yeah.
However, it's been reported that when he used to come home, he used to pray 2 rak'ah.
Subhanallah, mashallah.
But that's when he came home.
Subhanallah.
Other than that, nothing at the Musalla.
Beautiful. One thing about going and coming from the masjid.
Yeah. Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to mention that we said that he used to go, that it's recommended that you go on foot. So when you take a path, it's recommended that while you're returning, you take another route. And one of the hikmah behind this, one of the reasons is that, you're spreading khair everywhere.
Right.
Whichever route you go, you're actually showing the people that this is the day of Eid and takbirat and tasbih, salam, greeting the people. Again, spreading the khair.
Right.
Showing the people the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Beautiful.
Talking a little bit about congratulating people. It's been reported that you say taqabbalallahu minna wa mink.
Right.
Something simple. So when you meet people, although nothing specific has been reported, but it's something that that you say taqabbalallahu minna wa mink, and there's no harm, especially if you're greeting the people and you're meeting someone for the first time. It's the day of Eid, so you say taqabbalallahu minna wa mink.
What about saying like Eid Mubarak or something like that?
Yani, no problem. No problem.
Some people have issues with that. They're saying Eid Mubarak is bid'ah or something like that. I know Sheikh Albani was mentioning you can say كل عام وأنتم بخير, or something like that.
Obviously the position of the ulama should be respected, definitely.
Right.
So it's actually better to stick to taqabbalallahu minna wa mink, because there is some proof for it.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah.
It's always better to, alhamdulillah, just to follow the sunnah.
Jabir narrates that on the day of Eid, the Prophet ﷺ used to return using a different way from which he went. Again, reported by Bukhari. Then some of the other things. Now we talk about giving charity.
Right.
This is obviously before Eid.
Before the Eid Salah.
Before the Eid.
But we're talking here about the Zakat al-Fitr.
Okay. The charity.
Can you explain that? Yeah.
Yes. So the ulama, they've mentioned, obviously backing it up with proof, that you can give charity. The best time to give charity is before Salah.
Right.
But you can give charity a day or two before Yawm al-Eid.
Right.
And what's the hikmah? What's the reason behind giving this charity? One of the things is that, so that the poor people, they fasted this month with us, right? So this creates a bond of brotherhood.
Right.
This creates brotherhood. So when we share with them our wealth, when we give them, food, it's like we're sharing the happiness with them.
Right.
You know, something else that's also related to zakat al-fitr is whether you should give it in terms of money
Or food.
or whether you should give it in terms of food.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that you should give it in terms of food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can give it to charity. You can give money to charitable organizations
who
will distribute in the form of food.
Food. But then that whole issue comes that it should be a bit earlier so that food can reach them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if you give it like, let's say, the morning before the salah, that's not going to reach them. You know, because those poor people want to enjoy it.
Right.
At the time of Eid, right after Salah, right? That's when you go back, you start eating, your family, and so on. Right. So give it a bit of time, you know, if you're paying money, day, 2 days before, as allows, you know, as the scholar said, so that money can reach them, inshallah, you know,
their
that food and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And Zakat al-Fitr is supposed to be given by every person.
By every
young,
person.
old, you know, rich, poor, anyone. Every person has to give zakat al-fitr.
And usually the amount is determined by?
Determined by 1 sa', which the ulama have calculated to be like, you know, 2.5 to 3 kilograms. And it should be staple food. You know, so at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it was dates, raisins. Now we have wheat, flour, rice very common. So if we go to the market, we can buy rice. And the best thing is that you go to these poor people and distribute it yourself.
You feel that connection.
Exactly. You feel that. But I'm just saying, if you don't have the opportunity, or you feel that you don't know many poor people around you who are really deserving, you know, then you give it to these charitable organizations who are entrusted and recognized by the government to do their job. You know. Some of the other things we're going to hear are some of the things that we shouldn't do.
Okay.
You know, one of the things is that people have this idea on the day of Eid, they go and they visit graves. You know, they do takhsis of this day,
which is not
which
correct.
Which has no proof from the Quran and the Sunnah.
Is very wrong.
You know, some of the people, they go on Fridays. Yawm al-Eid. I mean, it's a day of rejoicing, you know, a day of happiness. So we're going to, for example, graves. And
now, do they feel like they're going to share the happiness with the person in the grave, or what's kind of, you know, what kind of...
I think that the reasoning is that, hey, we're celebrating Eid, but we didn't forget you. I mean, their loved ones. I think that's the
reasoning.
That's the reasoning. But if you have something else, I don't know.
It's just, I'm trying to make sense as to, like, because it's not like they can hear you or they can, you know, anything like that. It's not like they'll, you know, so subhanAllah. Taib, let's take a short break. Inshallah, remind the audience that they can give us a call if you have questions about Eid, and you know, the numbers on the screen. So we'll be right back in a few minutes with this last section of Ramadan Spirit Huda TV.
Ramadan, 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 to build their lives again, for them happiness let us all bring. Ramadan, Ramadan, from reading.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us in the Quran saying, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين. Hasten to the forgiveness of your Lord and to paradise, the width of which is the heavens and the earth, prepared for the righteous and pious. Brothers and sisters in Islam, especially in the month of Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ tells us that when the first night of the month of Ramadan is here, the devils are chained, and a caller will call upon you, O seekers of goodness, come forth. Ya baghi al-khayr, aqbil. Hasten to goodness is our show in Ramadan. Join me, Kareem Abu Zaid, every night in the month of Ramadan and learn how can we hasten to goodness.
And a sadaqah to the ones who are in great need, helping them to build their lives again, for them happiness let us all bring. Ramadan, Ramadan.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV, acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
Ramadan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back, Ramadan Spirit. Last 6 minutes. Alhamdulillah. I don't know, I feel a bit nice. It was very nice, alhamdulillah. Let's make use of this.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Yes, we were talking about some of the wrong practices that are done at the time of Eid. One of them is obviously, we mentioned visiting the graves, mixing.
Yeah, people go and just like start going to they have Eid parties, right?
The abaya will come off.
Abaya goes off, niqab goes off, hijab goes off.
Exactly.
Jokes start happening.
Exactly.
You're so funny, brother. You're so funny, sister. You're so funny, cousin.
Music.
Hey, cousin, music, dancing, stuff like that. I've already seen advertisement for concerts, live concerts. It's Eid Mubarak concert, and the guys all these singers are coming.
Not just that, it begins right in the morning. People miss Fajr, sleep, okay, and then they wake up for Eid. Some of the people don't even wake up for Eid. They end up missing the Eid.
They just go straight to the concert.
SubhanAllah.
These are issues because you don't want to. You just finished the month, inshallah, in obedience to Allah, and then the first day, if you start with disobedience, it's not a good sign for the coming year, So you want to push yourself. Obviously, you're not going to be like at the highest of Ramadan, the peak, but you want to be somewhere lingering, just under, and keep pushing.
So your recitation of the Quran should continue. If you've made an effort to read the tafsir of the Quran, that should continue to a certain degree, even if the quantity is not that much. But there should be consistency.
I was shocked. Right today, I was doing some research on my phone, and the amount of apps that are available right now. Even in the English language, like the whole Tafsir ibn Kathir is there in 10 volumes. You can have it on your phone, okay, and you can always access it. There's Ma'rif al-Quran, there's Tafhim al-Quran, explanation in English, Hadith, reminders, Fajr alarm clocks. Everything's there. You can have it on your phone.
Reminders, daily reminders.
SubhanAllah, so you can put a schedule, and what I'm doing now is I'm going through I'll have the English, Arabic, and just keep going through the translation and the Arabic, the tafsir of the ayahs that I might not,
So that you're connected to the Arabic and...
So you got kind of moving, slowly, going through it. Make use of while you're driving, You can invest a little bit, maybe a Bluetooth, system for your car or whatever, and have
And if, subhanAllah, brothers have been giving, sadaqah, continue on that.
Yeah, continue on sadaqah.
Even if the quantity is not that much,
right?
1 dirham, 2 dirhams.
Whatever it is, you continue on that. Connecting with your family and relatives. Qiyam al-Layl. You shouldn't stop it right the next day. Okay, alhamdulillah, I finished. It's try to make
push it.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I would say even if you wake up before Fajr 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's it's a valuable time right there in the last third of the night, right? So keep pushing, and don't give up.
They say when there's a strong will, when there's a will, there's a way.
There's a way, yeah.
So have a strong will, determination to continue.
And just keep making dua to Allah to open it for you, that you cannot do it without His, His help and His blessing, right? Just again the niyyah, the intention, it just comes in. And honestly, every time Ramadan comes to an end, it's you're happy that you're breaking your fast, but you're sad. It's you're gonna miss that tarawih, you're gonna miss that spirit, and the ummah needs to understand that, okay, we're having these differences, for example, moon sightings and a lot of differences we have. Okay, not just with Ramadan, but somehow Ramadan unites us. We've managed in some way to unite in Ramadan.
No.
Even though, let's say, we pray, some people say 8, some people 20. Masjids have said, okay, we'll pray 8 and continue to 20. So whoever wants to leave, there's some way we've united to pray together, some way we're fasting together, some way, we're paying zakah and charity and, doing good deeds. I mean, there's a few things that we really need to value as an ummah that unite us, Salah and the Qibla and so many things, that, I mean, yes, the differences are there. They're important. They need, we need to stick to what is haqq, and no doubt.
They need to be addressed.
They need to be addressed. But at the same time, because a lot of people, they despair, that how come we're so, have so many differences, these people. We're always highlighting the differences, right? We need to highlight.
And that affects the brotherhood,
It does
The differences are there, but the brotherhood needs to be there.
Yeah. It does affect it, no doubt. And you start feeling weird towards someone and negative, and you don't really want to. We have to stick to the truth, no doubt. We have to follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The Sahabas lived and died for it. They didn't just treat us like But at the same time, we need to try to. I always say to the brothers who are highlighting the differences, that what have you done to reduce the differences?
Exactly.
What have you done to give da'wah to the person who's maybe thinking a different way and might be on the wrong path?
You're just highlighting the problems that are already there.
Yes.
Have you come up with some conclusions?
Conclusions, some solutions. Like, it's like, okay, why are you debating? Why are you debating these people? Or why, are you really trying to show the sunnah? Like, are you inviting them? Or is it just an issue of argument?
Is it just an issue of ana? You want to show that you're superior somehow.
Because we need to reduce these things. We need to, and again, people say, let's unite. But I always say, what do we unite upon? What do we unite upon? And the answer very clear is that we have to unite on Quran Sunnah. And we need to call people to that. And we need to do it with hikmah.
No.
If you're just going to push people in the corner and just kick them in the corner, they're not going to. The dog, who you kick and punch in the corner, he's going to bite back, right?
No.
So, you need to have manners, as we said. There's a way how the scholars, we need to study how they used to differ and how they used to deal with each other. And they were like staunch opponents of each other in some points, right?
And even like subhanAllah, when they differed, subhanAllah, you see the adab also.
The adab and the manners. So
that they stood for haqq.
Yes.
For the position that they considered to be the strongest
and
position.
Even died for it.
And even died for it, but at the same time there was muhabba.
There was muhabba, yeah.
On so many different issues, you have Shaykh Albani differing with Shaykh Ibn Baz, but you see the muhabba.
Subhanallah. Brother Bilal, Jazakallah khair. It was a pleasure having you. May Allah subhanahu bless you, and may Allah subhanahu bring you back, inshallah, and may Allah subhanahu take you back to Medina and help you to finish your studies. And we need people like you, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair for inviting me to the show.
And we'll see you again, inshallah. To the audience and the viewers, I apologize if I've said anything wrong, if I've done anything wrong, subhanAllah. It's not my intention. Anything good that came, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything bad is from my nafs, from my shaitan. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you with Laylatul Qadr and with many more Ramadans to come, inshallah. And inshallah, many more shows on Huda.
Inshallah.
And please pray for us. Please pray for me, for my family, for all the brothers, for all the ummah who's suffering and struggling. Any people are suffering, people in Palestine who are being attacked. Syria, Burma, Central Africa, you name it, North Africa, all over the world, people are struggling and fighting, and subhanAllah, and
for the deen,
the deen, subhanAllah. So I leave you, astawdi Allah deenakum. I leave you in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa amanatikum wa khawatima a'malikum. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all of you, protect your brother Bilal. Jazakum khair. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. From your brother Gabe Al-Romani. Inshallah, we'll see you soon.
Combined in it, the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon his soul. Ramadan, Ramadan. Ramadan, 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 Ramadan. Without Iman being uplifted from reading